This comes up every single year where you get one of these people talking about how there's going to be no more cars in the future. Everyone's going to be electric. Everything's going to be automated. Yes, they want the cars. Yes, they want to control everything. And I just want to kind of map out how this is all going to happen and how people will inevitably, unfortunately, give up their own rights for the so-called betterment of society. And there are pros and cons with electric vehicles and all of that when it comes with you're not even driving anymore. It's all hands off. They're going to be like smart cars, things like that, to where they will drive you around. Human beings will be banned from driving because they're going to say, look at all the accidents, things like that. But in my opinion, what they're going to do, it's really a multi-decade thing to getting the United States to switch all to fully electric, to the point where if you're not driving an electric car, it is illegal. That's why they're trying to jam the climate change crap down on us, which is something I really don't care about. But I know a lot of people in their conscience, they're like, oh, we got to save the climate, things like that. I've seen the actual numbers when they're not manipulated, and it's just so ridiculous how they manipulate everything and say, oh, we're causing climate change. And even if you think that all of the CO2 emissions are from humans, which they're not, but even if you think that they are, you would blame China over the United States, who admits double the emissions. But guys, this goes back to 2016. Goodbye car ownership. Hello clean air. Welcome to the future. And of course, like a little rat with cheese, notice all the photos. You see that supercar. This is the future. This is what you could own, when in reality, only the top 0.5% would own a car like that. And they show it off like anyone can get it, and look how great that looks right there. And then you can see all of their designs and how they're going to do this with the vehicle. They go to the intelligent vehicle. Then they get you on the network. Look at number 3. You start with just the vehicle, right? We all just drive it. We're not on any sort of data network. You have a Chevy Cruze, you have a Ford, you've got a truck, whatever you have, it's just your car. The government's not tracking it. The government doesn't know. Now, they might track your phone, but in terms of the car, they can't turn it off. They can't do anything. Once they get you into the smart car where you're not even driving, they're all going to be connected to networks. And obviously, the whole idea with getting people to give up driving themselves is the accident issue. And this is the whole big thing. It's a bigger picture to where they actually tried with the pandemic to see how far they could take it. That's why they all had boners during the pandemic, because they could take people's rights and see how far they could go. And it was a whole moral thing. It always comes down to moral. It's a human nature. We don't want our fellow human in trouble if we can help it. So if there is cars that are self-driving where there's going to be no accidents, why would a selfish human being not take advantage of that and let the car drive itself and just be a passenger and be like a robot? Because otherwise you're putting people in danger, and that's the moral argument that they will use against you. It's just like wearing a mask while you're working out or outside. It makes no sense. But no, they'll say, what if you get someone sick and then they give it to their mom? You're indirectly killing them. Just wear the mask. It's not that big of a deal. You could make someone die. It's all a moral thing, and they try and dumb it down and say, yes, we're taking your rights, or we're manipulating your rights, but it's not that bad. Yes, we're going to have the ability to shut off your car, but no, it would never happen. It would never happen. And guys, I'll be the first person to say, if I had the money, I'm interested in a Tesla. I mean, those are beautiful vehicles, but there is the integration issue with all of these so-called electric smart cars. And then you see it says who pays the price. So they do these articles and they try and argue against themselves when in reality, they just simply don't ask the right questions. It says for all the possible benefits of this new model, there will be potential devastating impacts on significant portions of society, including many low-skilled or semi-skilled jobs. These range from taxi and delivery drivers to auto assembly, repair, and maintenance workers. In the U.S. alone, governments will face the potential loss of some $206 billion a year. And of course, so they're talking about the negatives of this, and they don't mention a breach of privacy. It's amazing. They just talk about the job loss. And then, of course, later in the article, they say, don't worry, it'll all be made up for with the cleaner energy and things like that. And that's the bigger picture, how they're going to get you into the smart city. Because for young people right now, I was just thinking about this, it's a lose-lose. Whether you go into the smart city or you do what you're continuing to do, they've really got the young people right where they want them. All these kids are miserable, and you get one of these ultra-rich people to come along and say, we're going to build a smart city. You've just got to basically give up your whole privacy, but you're only going to have to work 18 hours a week. You're not going to have a real boss. You know, and you're going to be able to enjoy yourself living in a virtual socialist bubble society as we have full control over all of your data and you become a complete cog. And the other problem with young people, and this is really for another video, but young people are arguing against themselves. They hate their bosses, but they also hate millionaires. And I talk to them and it's like, listen, so you want to be financially free. If you hate your boss, you don't want to work for anyone, you want to be financially free, but then you hate the people that are financially free. Which one is it? They don't know because they're so manipulated and it's so sad. No, we should all want to be financially free. And I'm not talking about having $50 million. Some people may want that, other people may not. It's actually looked down upon by many of these socialist new bred kind of liberals. It's looked down to be that rich, but we all at least want to have the financial freedom to where if we get into a car accident, it's fine, right? We have a crazy emergency, it's okay because we can afford it. And these kids are like, no, I hate rich people, I hate financial freedom. Well, then you can enjoy your working 50 hours a week for a terrible boss because that's where you're at right now. But you can see kind of the issue with many of their arguments. So this is really a multi-phase process. And the first phase of it is to get everyone into electric cars, get all of these cars connected to networks, know where everyone is, have all the cars outside of the people that are ultra rich, have all the cars registered. And it's like you have a vehicle, you have to tell, the government knows about it. The government knows when you went from point A to point B, you're not even the one driving the vehicle, which is something that I'm sure people are scared about. But that's like the whole idea of we're scared of change, things like that. Inevitably, they will probably win when it comes to people not being able to drive anymore, because they'll say if you drive, you're selfish because you could cause an accident. When they get the AI right, they get the cars right, there's going to be no accidents ever. All the cars are going to go the exact speed limit. They're all going to stop at the same time because it's a program. And of course, whatever government, especially in these smart cities, see what I'm thinking, they're going to try and get. It's almost like you have to wonder, do they try and put up bubble smart cities? Because they say they want the smart cities by 2030, but then when you're talking about every car being electric, that's not coming until at least 2050, I would say. That is a multi-decade type thing you would have to do, or at least over 10 years. I mean, I'm just speculating, but it's a huge project to make every vehicle in the United States electric. And of course, again, I really can't relate to having guilt about climate change because the numbers are just so crazy, but they're hammering home. Climate change, climate change, climate change. You have to change your lifestyle. Let us fly into the conference on a private jet, But no, the citizen is the one that should change, and we will offer you benefits in the form of a smart city, in the form of fewer hours. We're not going to overwork you. You're not going to have to deal with a terrible boss. Your boss is probably going to be a robot, so you don't even have to worry about it. There's no overtime problems. There's this huge anti-work movement that's going on in the United States that a lot of these people who want to try the smart cities, they love the anti-work movement because these kids are in a horrible situation, and the only way you would agree to giving up all of your information and all of your data is if you're in a terrible situation. It's like you're going from bad situation to bad situation. That's what a lot of these kids would be doing. And they're not targeting the 50-year-old millionaire. They're targeting the 22-year-old who is angry, who's got about $100,000 in debt, and really has a job in New York City, pays $3,000 for a one-room apartment. That's the person that they're targeting. And they have said over and over again that they're getting the cars. The cars are all going to be electric, and they're all going to be connected to Wi-Fi on the internet, all connected to a network. They're going to be able to shut your car off at any point. The government will be able to. And unfortunately, there's a rhetoric to where the left see, and listen, I'm not on the left, I'm not on the right, but the left seems to almost welcome massive government control, which is extremely terrifying. But that is kind of the thing that I'm getting from a lot of these people who pushed for excessive measures during the pandemic in 2020 and things like that. And it was a great example to where we could be at a point right now in 2023, if they really wanted to mess with people, there would still be a lot of people that are on the left that would probably say lockdowns are needed. And at that point, you're not looking at science. It becomes more of a cult type religion to where, well, because I said lockdowns were good, lockdowns are good, and we still need lockdowns, even though at that point the science says no. And the idea is eventually it will be illegal to have any other vehicle that's not a smart electric car in the name of climate change and global warming. And all of these smart cars are going to be equipped with tracking devices. Obviously, they're all going to be on the network. They're all going to have Wi-Fi, things like that. There will be benefits for sure. You can't just say, hey, we're going to get all your data and give nothing back. It's like owning a cell phone. I mean, yes, we give all of our data to Google. We give all of our data to big tech and stuff like that, but we are getting a nice return. We're getting a cell phone. We're getting entertained. We can talk to people whenever we want. We can connect with people no matter where we're at. We could be in a rural place. As long as we have 4G, 5G, whatever it is, we can connect with other human beings. So there's a trade-off, right? And these people aren't stupid. They're not just going to say, listen, we're switching. You need to do this and give up all your rights. No. They will give you stuff for it. There are benefits to this type of lifestyle. But the question, and this is what people are going to have to answer to themselves, is it worth basically becoming a robot? It's just like Neuralink and all the issues with that. The idea of reading people's minds. Well, listen, when they say you're going to be able to read other people's minds, you're telling me I'm going to be a robot. So it's like it seems like there's no nuance when it comes to actually debating Neuralink. You're saying I'm going to be a robot if everyone knows what I'm thinking, if they have Neuralink and I know what they're thinking. I'm really not a human being. I have no personality because everyone already knows what I'm thinking and I know what they're thinking. I'm a robot. It's like a network, which you may like, but I'm just saying that's what it is. And no one seems to talk about it. So that's a whole nother issue to where it's like so anti-human. I don't know. Of course, humans we're always anti-change, and I try and push back against that sometimes because we are always anti-change. But you're talking about messing with your own brain, it becomes an issue. So guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I'm, of course, The Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.